登録して
Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by Nengarden. Nengarden is holding a Black Friday sale. You can get 30 to 35% off site-wide. This stacks with my promo code Kaizoku for an additional 5% off on top of the sale. Just want to save y'all a couple bucks. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. Man, what deck should I play today? Oh, I know. I'll head over to gumgum.gg for the most up-to-date One Piece deck lists. Updated daily with over 1,000 deck lists per set, including both Eastern and Western decks. Whether you're chasing the meta or hunting for rogue strategies, use gumgum.gg. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Alright, in this video we're going to be doing like a sort of tournament state of the meta kind of summary. So far, there are about 10 tournaments in OP8.5. There's about a month left into the set, so I think this is a good spot to check how we are doing at the moment as far as like the competitive scene. And I'll be using my market review dashboard for this. Not only does it have market data, it also has a bunch of like tournament data as well. Basically, I just put anything that I want to track into this dashboard for me to make videos on. But you guys can get access to it too if you want to see the same things I'm seeing here. You just have to be a market tier patron on my Patreon to get access to it. If you guys have any ideas of what else to track besides like tournament data and price data, let me know and I can add it here too. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look at which decks are played the most, which decks are winning the most, any rogue decks that we should take a look at, the price of those decks as well, and then like the card choices between each of the different players who play these decks. So let's start things off with the sort of like a general tournament performance overview here. So yeah, this is for the OP8.5 format. These are the 10 tournaments that we are going to be taking a look at. I'm only looking at treasure cups and regionals. I'm not looking at any like local store level or any like online non-Bandai official tournaments. But yeah, we have this chart here. So there's about exactly 10 leaders that make up the meta at the moment, right? These are all decks that got top 8 in these 10 tournaments. So coincidentally, 10 leaders, 10 tournaments. The leader with the most tops, it's a tie actually between Green Jewelry Bonnie and Black Yellow Luffy here at 3 top ones apiece. Then after that, we do see Blue Doflamingo has 1 top of its own. Also Nami won 1 top event. Also Enel, and as well as 1 Vegapunk. Unfortunately, Purple Luffy, and then Red Blue Marco, and then I believe this is, yeah, the Black Luffy, Starter Deck 14. And Lucci have not taken one yet, but in terms of the number of top 8s, we'll sort by that real quick. Number 1 is definitely Black Yellow Luffy, right? It's the deck that everyone's playing, it's consistent, it performs really well at the top level, so he both takes the top slot in number of decks played and top slot in number of first places. Up next after that is Blue Doflamingo, so his conversion rate is not as great into the top 1, but into top 8 it for sure is, right? 17, the next most highest, followed by Black Rob Lucci. So yeah, also able to get top 8, but just can't quite get top 1. And you'll want to take that with a grain of salt too, because I'm pretty sure at like the top level, with only 10 tournaments, it all comes down to luck too, right? You can just get unlucky with your deck in a certain matchup, or even your matchups is luck too, right? Lucci could have gotten lucky with his runs, all of his matchups up until top cut and make it into top cut. Then after that we have Green Bonnie at 12, Enel at 5, Nami at 2, Purple Luffy at 2 as well, Vegapunk at 1, it's the 1 of 1 that got first place, Marco at also 1, and then finally we have that Black Luffy at also 1. So we can see the top 5 most popular decks are Black Yellow Luffy, Doflamingo, Lucci, Bonnie, and Enel. I would say Enel is the surprising one because Enel kind of fell off at OP8, right? But I think due to Doflamingo's dominance in the meta right now, being the second most populous leader, Enel does have a good time into Doflamingo. It's hard for Doflamingo to end in Enel. And it could be that Enel has a good matchup into Black Yellow Luffy too. These are 2 decks that I don't really play, so I don't really know too much about that. Now, if I could get like the matchups of the tournaments, like which deck is playing against which deck, that'd be really sweet data to have in my dashboard, but I don't know if anyone's recording that, so if it's not available out there in the ether, I won't have access to it. Unless I like go through each tournament and then try to find the VODs. But no, they don't have every match in the VOD itself, right? But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a way to get that data. I just don't know myself where to access that. And I'm worried that like whoever has that data may be like paywalling it. I don't know. That's one thing that I kind of don't like about the community, right? I think even until recently, a lot of the English VODs were paywalled. For some reason, all the Japanese ones are like free to watch because they're like officially hosted by Bandai. And then as I'm editing this video, I feel like I should add this in. I do realize the irony of me complaining about paywalls while this dashboard itself is paywalled. But the intent of the dashboard is more geared towards investors of the game, not players, right? It's people trying to make money off the game anyway, so I don't feel as bad making some money off of other people trying to make money off of this game, of the cards at least. And then yeah, none of the data in this dashboard is like proprietary. It's all publicly available. You have access to it too, just as much as I do, right? Card market price data as well as tournament data. I'm just displaying it in a nice way and then using a lot of my like coding skills to wrap it up in a very nice and presentable format. That's really all I'm doing, and that's what you're getting the value out of in my dashboard here, so that you don't have to do it yourself, you know? But yeah, stuff like my deck breakdowns, my deck list, my deck gameplay, my analysis, my tier list, my rankings, and all that stuff, that's never going to be paywalled on my channel, so no worries about that. But yeah, we can see the most used card in all of these. How many decks is this? I should add a summary row. We'll do it live. Okay. So these 80 decks, well, I could have just done math, right? 10 tournaments, top 8, that's 8 times 10. Duh. But yeah, Gecko Moria shows up in half of the decks here, right? In 40 decks, they play Gecko Moria. You also play Sabo in 40 of these decks. And this makes sense because these two cards are used in Black Yellow Luffy and Lucci, right? If you click Gecko Moria here, it'll show you which decks run it. Yeah, so Black Yellow Luffy, Black Lucci, and then the Black Luffy, starter deck 14 Luffy. So Gecko Moria, the most popular card in this current meta. We also see the Egghead Luffy at 28 after that, so 12 less. And I'm pretty sure he's only run in Black Yellow Luffy. I guess he could be run in NL too. We'll just check real quick. Oh yeah, NL and Vegapunk, right. Vegapunk can run him. But that is quite a huge difference, right? 40 to 28 here. Then Ice Age can be run in every black deck. I guess there's some Luccis that did not run Ice Age, right? So 17 ran it here. How many ran the Gecko? Oh no, it's also 17 here. Oh, I guess it's the Black Yellow Luffy, right? 22 ran Gecko. So there's 22 Black Yellow Luffys because they all run Gecko. Meanwhile, only 9 of them run Ice Age. So what is that, like 13 Black Yellow Luffy players don't run Ice Age in their deck? It's more of a tech card anyway, so that makes sense. But yeah, people say that Rebecca is the real issue with the Gecko Moria combo. But I don't even see Rebecca here in the top 10. Right, Gecko Moria is in 40 decks, Rebecca is in 18, less than half, because it can only be run in Lucci and then the Black Luffy deck. It cannot be run in Black Yellow Luffy, so take with that what you will. And then the most winningest card, we'll go by average placement, is Zeph, because it's skewed by that the two Namis here that got first place and then top 8 respectively. So I guess the first place Nami played Zeph, while the 8th, or not 8th, but like not first place, but top 8 one did not play Zeph. So maybe average placement doesn't fit too well with these decks that have like a 1 of in the top 8. What if you look at how many firsts that they show up in? So Egghead Luffy shows up in 5 first place decks, followed by Flampe, but these are all probably just like Black Yellow Luffy. The 0 cost 3k counter shows up in 3 first place decks, and then I'm pretty sure it's these 3 Bonnies that topped. So yeah, I have that information here. If you look at the leader breakdown by percentage, we do see Black Yellow Luffy takes the biggest piece of the pie here. It represents 27.5% of the top 8 meta, followed by Blue Doflamingo at 21.3%, followed by Lucci at, I can't see the percentage, 21.2, and then it's Bonnie at 15, and then Enel at 6.3, and then everything else is like sub 5%. So that is the meta at a glance. We can take a look at the prices of these decks now. So I have this tab here. I know it's like kind of information overload. I'm still working on like a good way to display this data without it like just being like a bunch of numbers everywhere. But what you can do with this page is really cool. So we'll have it already pre-filtered by 8.5. So the most expensive deck is that starter deck 14 Black Luffy deck. That one deck that did top, their deck was worth $286.58. And this price is using the TCG player price, their market price, however they calculate it. And it's using the cheapest version of each card in the deck, because yeah, I'm a cheapo like you guys. I don't want to spend too much on my card games, right? Well, I guess some people do, and that's why I'll show this bottom part of the chart later. But yeah, just in case you're wondering why I'm using the cheapest price, it's because I'm a cheapo myself. And the next most expensive deck after that is Lucci at 248, and then Enel at 232, followed by Black Yellow Luffy at 210, and then Purple Luffy at 207. I think this is mainly due to the Mr. 2s. Then Marco at 193. He's more expensive than I thought he would be. And then Bonnie at 139. Like, pretty affordable, right? For a deck that got first place 3 times. Then Blue Doflamingo's 120. I thought he was supposed to be a budget deck. I guess we'll see what cards in his deck cost so much. Followed by Vegapunk at 112. And then Nami at $51. Very affordable, as she's always been. So what should we take a gander at? Oh, I should explain also, the charts here don't really make sense until you like click a deck. So let's take a look at the Doflamingo since we're curious about that, right? So if I click Doflamingo, it filters every other chart on the page. So on the right, it's every top 8ing Doflamingo. In this format, I have it broken down by like the tournament and then the player and then the price of their specific deck with the cards that they run. So we can see the guy with the most expensive Doflamingo deck was Koti. I think that's a name I hear pretty often. I don't really follow the competitive players too much, but yeah. Top 8 at the Madison Regionals, his Doflamingo deck was the most expensive at 125. Meanwhile, the cheapest Doflamingo deck was Jimmy Shi at the Let's Play Games Adelaide Regionals. Is that in Australia? I feel like I heard that city before somewhere. But yeah, it's only like a $10-ish difference, so not too much variation in Doflamingo, right? It's kind of a solved deck at the moment. But yeah, let's take a look at the cheapest one real quick. So we'll filter it even deeper in granularity by filtering for Jimmy's Doflamingo deck here. So on the bottom chart, it shows every single card in his deck, the ratios that he runs it at. And then with each card in the deck, I also show like the cheapest price version of that card, followed by the cheapest alt art, followed by the most expensive alt art. That's what I colloquially name as like the min version of the card, and then the alt art version of the card, and the bling version of the card. Just to give you an idea, if you wanted to build this deck out yourself, if you're a hobo like me, you'll go for the min price. If you're like a little rich boy, you could use the bling price and then bling it out to your heart's content. Yeah, I'm too poor to know good English. But yeah, Jinbei, you only have two options here. You have the standard SR one, that's like $8.91. Then you have, I guess this is the alt art from the same set for $21. If you click on the price, it'll take you to TCG Player 2, so you can just click that to check. Yeah, OP8.5. And it seems like this Jinbei is the most expensive card in the deck, going by the min price. So yeah, all the cards in the Doflamingo deck are under $10, but I guess if you add it up, it can equal 112, so I guess that makes sense. But I'm pretty sure that Jinbei and the Weevils were not this expensive prior to this blue Doflamingo starter deck coming out. I remember like they were like sub $5, but yeah, I think since blue Doflamingo got really popular recently, the price of his deck went up in response to that. Is there any nice bling cards we can look at here? So there's this Sengoku, just an alt art. Oh wait, I can just sort. So we'll sort by the bling price. The most blingingest card is this SP Kakomoria, right? You could either spend 15 cents for the starter deck version, or you can spend $65 for this SP version. There's also the 2K Mihawk. I believe this is from PRB01, the $53 Mihawk. Oh no, it's from the CS 2023 Celebration Pack, if you want like the most expensive 2K counter Mihawk. Then the leader, right? 34 cents for the standard leader, or 286 for the alt art. Everything else is not too different, not too expensive. Now, where it gets interesting is if we take a look at some of the decks that have more options in terms of alt arts. I think the best illustration of that could be Lucci, right? So we'll take a look at one Lucci deck, the most expensive one too. So we'll sort by the bling price here. So this guy, Koi Nguyen from Oceania, his Treasure Cup deck, if you bling it out, it costs $6,840 as opposed to the $242 min price. And that is because this SP Rebecca, is this SP or is this alt art? This is SP, right? Yeah. SP Rebecca is $90 a piece. Oh wait, I think the sort's not working on this because I made it a URL instead of a number. Right, that makes sense. So that Doflamingo one, I should have caught it, but the leader should have been the most expensive card in that deck, right? But it showed up in the middle because I made this into a URL that clicks into the TCG player page. But yeah, taking a look at the total bling price, I think that will sort by number. Yep, it does. So there is a Tudu card that's $1,000. What the heck? But there's no image for it on TCG player. Let's take a look at that, just out of curiosity. Okay, yeah, TCG player does not have an image for it either. It's the CS 2023 Event Pack Finalist version. And the fact that it's showing a market price means that in the past 3 months, someone actually bought one. On the 9th of November, someone spent $1,000 on a Tsudu card. Okay, so that's why this deck costs $6,840 if you blinged it out. But yeah, the next most expensive card is Manga Sabo. If you have 4 of these, that's $893. Followed by this Brook. Which version is this? That is $400. Championship 2024 finalist card set. Yeah, so yeah, it's a finalist prize card. $400 a piece by market price. I think the lowest listed we saw was like $500, but however TCG player calculates the market price, sets it at $400. Followed by the SP Rebecca that we saw earlier, and then there's a prize card brand new here on a Spandam, sorry. There's so many like Searcher Weenies in the deck. And then there's the Alt Art Brook here, $55. Dang, the base Brook is $29. I remember this guy was like $5 at one point. And then the Gecko Morias, there's 3 different versions to pick from. Right, you have the base art SR, and then you have the PRB01, alt art, and then the OP06 alt art actually costs more than the PRB01 one by like $7. Whoa, what's this zombie Luffy? Offline Regional 2024 Volume 3. Whoa, this one's cool. I didn't know this card existed. But yeah, if you want to pimp out your zombie Luffy, Nightmare Luffy, you have that. Whoa, the leader Lucci is only $30? What happened to you, my dude? Yeah, he is. What the heck? I mean, he's still good in OP09. He's good into Doflamingo. Okay, yeah, well, that's something I learned from this dashboard. Maybe I'll pick one up if it's this cheap. But yeah, for the sake of brevity of the video, I think that's all I really wanted to show, right? I gave you the average price of each of these decks, so you know how much they cost if you wanted to build it out yourself. I showed you some of the deck list too of the people, and then how much it would be if you like sprung for the base art version versus like the blinged out version. And then we took a look at the tournament performance. We saw the overall state of the meta in 8.5. So I guess this is a logical conclusion for the video. So let me know if you guys thought this was interesting. I'm trying to keep it more brief, right? Because I think I sort of tend to like ramble and then go into tangents that maybe not everyone cares about. I know some people watch my videos for like kind of more of like a podcast style kind of thing to listen to in the background, but while other people are like actively engaged in the videos, I gotta come up with like a middle ground. But yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you came away with some new insights from this, and then let me know if you like these kind of videos. I'll make more of it. And then if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you do so, right? I have a variety of content. I do gameplay, deck breakdowns, I also do market stuff, I also do like these meta reports, just whatever I find interesting about the game, I'll make a video about it. I'm a free spirit in that regard, very laissez-faire, you know? So yeah, until next time, I guess, bye.
Card Kaizoku.